motors are buzzing back behind us here as we're ready to contest the next round of the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series. It's a first for this series as we come to Tooele, Utah, just outside of Salt Lake City, to one of the most beautiful racing facilities in all the land. Welcome to Miller Motorsports Park. Ken Stout, Cameron Steele right alongside. This will be the Geico Off-Road Nationals. You've had a chance, my friend, to get out on this track. It is brutal, it is fast. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
It's really busy is what it is. There's obstacles all over the place, and it doesn't really have a great flow, which I think is awesome for racing because, you know, you want to flow and jump and be smooth, but this thing, you're running into the other side of the landings, the ramps, you can't quite clear them. I think it's a beautiful thing. There's going to be a lot of chaos, as I like to say.
Let's talk about the pro lights real quickly. Again, Chris Brandt leading here, but the story has to be Brian Deegan. Tried the new truck, but decided to go back to the tried and true one.
He's flip-flopping, not sure what he wants to do, and that's a terrible place for a racer to be. Brian has a brand new truck. He'd like to race it. He also knows that the old truck is standby. It's really good, so he's a little bit all over the place right now. Last I spoke with him, he still was unsure what he was going to be racing.
One thing's for sure, it will be exciting no matter what happens. Now, with more on today's story, let's get down to the first of our two pit reporters and Rob Klepper. Rob?
And guys, currently leading the Pro Light Division, Mr. Chris Brandt. Chris, a very tight points battle. You got Loyadis there in second, and of course your old friend slash foe, Brian Deegan, just 8 points back in third. How fast is this 82 truck this weekend? Because we're at a brand new racetrack, man.
Yeah, you know, it was real fast in qualifying, and I misunderstood my spotter and gave away the last lap and gave it away, you know. So now we're currently sitting fourth. We qualified, so but that's okay. It puts us on the second row and get us out front early.
How about this thing with Deegan? I mean, you guys kind of been banging wheels. Last year was Brian Deegan and Casey Curry, and this year it seems like that truck and this truck are always right next to each other.
You know, Casey, I don't know, he went away somewhere, and then Brian needed someone else to run into, so he started running into me, and you know, it's getting old, and it's time to bring it back.
How do we fix that?
I run into him back, you know. I mean, I'll start pushing him out of the way. I'll take the lead.
That's Chris Brandt, guys. Your points leader. Going to get crazy here at Miller Motorsports Park.
And in the interest of fair reporting, let's check in with Brian.
Brian Deegan, we just spoke with Chris Brandt, and he told us that you are always looking for somebody to bump in with. He said you and him battle it out, but this time he is not going to let you down. Take us through this rivalry that is created during this year.
It's pretty cool to have a good competition like Chris out there, really. It's a guy out there that's really giving me a run out for the championship, and somehow we always seem to be coming together and battling for the points, but I think he should be pretty good at it. He's been doing it for like 20 years, so, you know, racing Mickey Thompson and all that back before I was born, so it's cool, you know. I just want to go out there and battle, and we'll see. He bumped me last time, and I guess I owe him this time, so racing's racing, and we'll take it to the track, so we'll see what happens.
Before I was born, liar, liar, paths on fire. Brian Deegan, a great storyteller when it comes to the microphone.
Good stuff. You got to love a good rivalry. Well, that's your top three in the points. Chris Brandt in the center, Matt Loyadis to the left. There's a good look at Chris Brandt and his truck, sponsored by Hart and Huntington, MAV TV. 2 wins already this season. Another man with 2 wins is third in the points. That is Brian Deegan. But how about the young gun and newcomer to the class with a win under his belt, Matt Loyadis, right in the middle. Those 3 guys are battling for a championship, and don't ever count out Marty Hart. Here's a look at the Geico Power Sports point standings. You see Marty Hart down there in 5th. Adam Wick is also a guy that has certainly stepped up.
For sure, and there's a couple hitters in here with the points so close, you never know what's going to happen as we're just to the midway point in the season.
The fans are having a great time out here. It is a party atmosphere just before the races. Get plenty of autographs. That is Mike Johnson right there. And, of course, the multi-time champ, Carl Rennezetter. Get up close and personal when you come to one of our events. We'd love to see you here. Utah, just outside of Salt Lake City, Miller Motorsports Park is where all the action is going to take place for round number 7. That is your points leader, Chris Brandt with the number 82 truck, MAV TV, Hart and Huntington. Right beside him, the number 20 is Matt Loyadis, second in the points. Also, a quick nod to Jacob Person, his first career pole in the category. Has a couple in the Super Lights division, but his first one here in Pro Light. Marty Hart goes out qualifying and wads things up.
Yeah, a little crashola there right away in qualifying. Didn't get a time, so he's back in the pack. As we take a look at that number 15, he has 1 win on the season, the Ready Lift sponsored Lucas Oil Stronghold Motorsports machine. Good look at him there. Also back in the pack, is Brian Deegan, the number 38 machine, who's way back there. Way back. Because
Post-qualifying tech he did not go to.
Whoops.
You got to go to that. Otherwise, boom, you're DQ'd for qualifying. Pretty much that session thrown out the window. To the back of the pack you go. And that's where he's at right there. So he has his work cut out for him to work his way to the front. Here's your KMC wheels starting grid. Stefan Papadakis, for the first time in his off-road career, will start him off here on the pole.
And Sean Geiser hoping to change his luck on the outside of row 1. He's had no luck this year. Brandt and Loadice, row 2, Jimmy Stevenson, who's been on the podium this year, and our fast qualifier, Jacob Person, from row 3.
Let's go back to row 4. We find Corey Sisler, and alongside the very fast, as of late, Adam Wick.
He's not afraid to turn the truck upside down now and then, and Marty Hart, who did just that in qualifying, and Anthony Verdone coming from the outside of row 5. Then Aaron Doherty and the general from the Metal Militia, Brian Deegan, coming from row number 6.
The Bully Dog pace truck is off the track, and here we go with the Pro Light. Round 7, Miller Motorsports Park.
See who gets the jump. It looks like it's going to be Papadakis.
And Stefan Papadakis with the MagnaFlow exhaust sponsorship on the side of the truck. Takes the outside route. Stefan coming out of the import drag racing ranks and also drifting ranks, getting his feet wet, if you will. Maybe dirty is a better word. Out here in the off-road ranks, and Chris Brandt already checking out. Jimmy Stevenson in 3rd place.
Jimmy in the red truck, number 33, sponsored by Yokohama Tires, trying to make a move up the pack. He's got to watch that ledge. And speaking of watching out, the number 16 ready lift machine there of Sean Geiser. Oh, and all kinds of out of control there in one of the non-rhythm sections, as I like to call it, because there's 2 big sections like that. You can't clear any of the jumps. And here goes Marty Hart in the 15, looking to the inside. There's some fingers on the inside of the chicanes here that are very tricky to run on. They will flip the truck over if you're not careful.
And Marty Hart got into the side of Loyades, so Loyades had to check up a little bit, and I think lost a spot in the process. Over the moguls, very, very tough on these smaller trucks. Loyades really struggling, and Loyades was pretty much out to lunch and practiced a little bit earlier in the weekend as well. Those guys had an incorrect shock adjustment, and now are chasing it.
Hart with the big run up the inside. He's going to make it work. Geiser looking to the inside of Hart, trying to pick back up some positions. We got contact, and
Person up on 2 wheels and made it look easy. Nice save.
These little 4-cylinder trucks, you got to try to keep the momentum up. The engines are so temperamental as well. In fact, Geiser, who we're looking at right now, getting passed by Person, Geiser's been having a ton of problems with both some crashes and primarily with some engine problems.
And Geiser just getting acquainted with this category as well. It is very tough. Any of the guys will tell you that the trucks land hard. They're short, they're narrow, they're pipey, a lot of horsepower in them.
You used to race them.
Absolutely, and I flipped them as well. So it is not an easy thing to do, especially if you're new at the game.
Now these jumps, I want to point out as they go into this whoop section here, that's the yellow truck is Marty Hart, red truck Jimmy Stevenson. So Marty Hart on a bit of a tear, trying to get up on the back of Chris Brandt, who's our leader. We're going on board with him here at the Lucas Oil Camp.
Good hang time right there. Of course, the yellow strap, they have Velcro to the front of the helmet. That is a quick disconnect for his head and neck restraint device. Your MagnaFlow exhaust. Top 3. Stay with us. This is the Geico Power Sports Utah Nationals held at Miller Motorsports Park with the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series. Stout, Steele, Snyder, and Klepper calling all the action for you. You're on board with Chris Brandt. He is your leader. He is also your points leader.
Just talking again about how violent it is inside the truck. Very blind section there. Over the jump in 2 as you get to 3. And then this jump, it has so much kick. Look at Marty Hart really risking it. Wow, Hart trying to make some time on Brandt as they go through a local caution.
It looked like Aaron Doherty, who was off to the side of the track. Sean Geiser and the Ready Lift truck, that Mastercraft truck, is Matt Loyades. Matt really struggling this week and second to the points. And I'll tell you, man, you can see that truck. See how hard it's hitting. The back end is almost rock solid and it has been beating him up this weekend.
He's definitely off the pace a bit. And Adam Wick, who the last couple rounds out in Las Vegas had some inversion testing and ended up coming back to get on the podium, and guys are making a run on him right now. So guys are looking to go inside here as they get through the rhythm section. This is turn 5. You see guys are sliding to the outside. Here comes Wick. Now Wick's going to be committed to the inside where the fingers are. Still goes around the 2 fingers. He doesn't want to hit those edges.
And the finger, if you can hit it square with both front tires, isn't so bad, but if you hit it with just the inside tires, it will put you up on 2 wheels. Deegan trying to pick his way through the pack. Keep in mind, started dead last. By the way, a full containment seat there for Brian Deegan. You can see that wrap around his shoulders, also around his head. If you look at Chris Brandt's seat, he does not have that. More old school style.
And Jimmy Stevenson in the red truck here being chased down by Deegan. Deegan's going to try to go on the inside here in the rhythm section. Watch Deegan try to skim the tops and get in the position in the corner. The trick is he can't slide by. Both trucks drifting to the outside. Jimmy Stevenson able to hang on to position. Now Deegan's going to go across the finger, risking it. Pulls up alongside Stevenson. And now this is a tough line for Deegan to hold it in because he's going to be drifting towards that outside in the whoops. As we move back to the front here, mandatory caution for Brandt.
That'll group everybody back up. You can see coming out of that final turn, and it looks like Jimmy Stevenson and Brian Deegan still side by side here. Stevenson with the smallest of advantages will hang on to the position to the finish line there for the restart. Oh, and Deegan with a nice move there to stay out of the back bumper as Stevenson checked up just past the finish line.
Chris Brandt right now, the man of the hour, leading the pack around and also leading the points. He's got to be happy on both counts.
Great looking brand new blue Simpson seat belts holding him in there, along with Brian Deegan also using the Simpson product. Hey, don't you go anywhere. Pro 2's coming up here. Rob McCackern, your points leader. Second in the points, the bad boy, Ricky Johnson. And of course, one of the brightest stars in off-road, Bryce Menzies. 900 horsepower, Pro 2s in a throwdown. All that's coming up next. Right out to the Pro Light race. You don't want to go anywhere. Your MagnaFlow exhaust top 5 is as follows. In the Pro Light division, Jacob Person hanging on there in 3rd place. And the kid has shown some legitimate speed over the past few races. It's only a matter of time till he's standing on the top of that box.
And he hasn't made some friends with some people. A lot of contacts, and people not sure if they want to race with them, including Deegan, who went out of a race because of contact with Person, but he's keeping it clean so far this race.
Well, the guys that are fast when they're young don't always make a whole lot of friends. I can remember one Dale Earnhardt Sr. who didn't have a whole lot of friends early on.
Oh, and
Jacob Person gets a little love back.
Whoa, Deegan gets into the back of Person just a little bit there as they check up for the corner, but seemingly it's taken out Deegan's truck as well.
So Jacob Person on his side there, and yeah, the question is what happened to Deegan as we watch it one more time? Oh, is Deegan getting a little love back? I believe that goes back to Las Vegas.
Well, I will say this for Deegan, he was clearly on the binders trying to break going into the corner, and contact happened. We'll see if Deegan can get that truck refired, but right now it's all the MAV TV Hart and Huntington truck Chris Brandt can do to keep Marty Hart behind him.
Marty Hart's been hot and cold, but 2 rounds ago was smoking hot as he picked up his first win of the season. 2 other podium finishes this year. That with a 12th place finish and a 17th place finish has certainly made it a struggle for him from time to time, but when Marty Hart's on, he is tough to beat.
And they gave the full course caution to get Person and Deegan out of the way.
Look at Brian Deegan trying to get started back up. Stay with us. We'll find out if he can. The Sports Utah Nationals and the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series. Brian Deegan trying to make up a lap and actually in the process made a mistake.
He did. What he did is he had a spotter ask if he could go by the pace truck. And so he's got to go into the hot pit if he goes by the pace truck to get the truck checked out. He didn't do that, so he's not getting the lap back. He's still going to be on the back of the field on the same lap. They won't just let him go around the pace truck and get a lap back.
So he's trying to close that gap up because we're just about to go green. You can actually see him way in the back of the course here, a long ways to go as the Bully Dog Toyota pace truck about to pull off out of the way. And We're going to get these guys restarted. Chris Brandt still out front, but definitely being hawked down by one tough Marty Hart.
And we'll see how it goes as they get the restart here. They'll get the green flag, see who has the run, and Marty gets a jump, it looks like, and he's looking to the outside.
Big jump for Marty Hart, up and around to the outside, but Brandt with a line.
Marty's gonna try to carry the speed around the outside and then more speed down into the section, but it looks like Brandt's got him covered by about 3 or 4 car lengths.
Good move for Brandt into that turn, held his line, and oh yeah, a little deeper in the pack. Those guys are really going at it.
Stevenson cleanly in third, Wick fourth. This should be good right here now. Hart willing to hold it open across the tops. Look how rough and violent it is inside the truck. Hart on the inside. Good job, but no contact.
I actually had a chance to talk with Chris Brandt about it. I said, looks like Hart's a little bit quicker than you through that rhythm section in the back. And he said, he just has more guts than me there. He said, no question about it.
Brandt with a good line over that second finger drop to the right tire where there isn't a big bump, so not unsettling the truck as much as Hart as they come back on the front straight.
I'll tell you, when they roll through that right-hander and over those moguls into that final left-hand turn, they are carrying so much speed.
Oh, hold on. Wow. Flipping and twisting. It looks like the forgiven energy machine of Corey Sisler back there. Wow, not sure if he had some help around there.
Wild ride. I'll tell you, if you get off to the side of any of those jumps and it kicks you off sideways, you get in trouble.
Oh, he did. He caught the edge right there and it kicked him back.
Nosed it into the berm. Then it looked like he clipped another truck.
Landed on Deegan.
Was that Deegan going by?
Yep.
So Deegan can't win for losing out here today.
Hart jamming it through the rough.
Hart just mad dogging it, as you say.
Now watch Hart. He'll go on the finger, airborne. Brandt trying to get out around it. Both of them using the finger in the second section there.
Hart's like, no problem. You want me to take the rough way around? I'll take whatever I can get. Over the moguls.
See him straighten out just a little bit there.
He definitely missed the entry to that turn. That'll cost Marty Hart a little bit of real estate right there.
White flag is out. Watch the airtime off this second jump. Wow. So Hart has this last lap to try to make a move, looking to the inside. The question is, will he give him the NASCAR turnaround? Around here, that'll get you black flag.
I don't think he will. I mean, I don't think Marty Hart and Chris Brandt have any issues like that. They've raced very, very close together earlier in the season as well. Matter of fact, Chris Brandt said one of his favorite moments was going through turn 1 next to Marty Hart. He said they got so close their front tires touched, but the bodies of the trucks never touched. Pretty impressive, actually.
Hart's had a great run in this section. Now they're going to go over this tabletop. Watch as they battle the fingers. Here goes Hart to the inside. He's going to risk it on the finger.
Boy, it was great, too. You could see how early those guys picked up the throttle in that right-hand turn, right at the very beginning of the turn to drive all the way through it. Oh, over those ruts, hanging on.
Hart trying to get a run. Hart's trying to get a run out of this turn. Going wide, trying to carry speed.
But he got out in that fluff. You get out in the fluff for those trucks right there. It will cost you some horsepower, and that's exactly what's happened here. Chris Brandt will hang on for the win and survives the pressure from number 15, Marty Hart, definitely keeping it on here today. Camaraderie between the two drivers, a lot of fun, no doubt. And Deegan trying to salvage a few points here in the back.
Definitely frustrated and adding insult to injury. Deegan's nemesis, Chris Brandt, elated with the win, so he extends his points lead over everybody, but specifically I'm sure he's liking the fact he's spreading it out on Deegan.
3 wins on the season, 5 podium finishes, and 7 starts. That is a pretty solid effort here in the front half of the season for one Mr. Chris Brandt. Okay, here's a look at your Rockstar Energy Drink final results. Chris Brandt, Marty Hart, Jimmy Stevenson again back up on the podium, second time this year. Congrats. Then Jacob Person and Adam Wick round out the top 5. Matt Loydes just outside of that top 5.
And a shocker for Papadakis and Aaron Doherty, both having tough races. This man, that's right, Chris Brandt leading him around to victory circle.
Flying the Toyota colors proudly. Let's take you to our E3 Spark Plugs race recap.
And on the restart, Marty Hart looking for a way around on the outside. Wanted to do battle, but Chris Brandt was able to hold his ground.
Jacob Person getting a little bit of love from the 38 truck of Brian Deegan, and Brian Deegan got hit from behind by the 11 of Adam Wick. Deegan could not restart. They had the pull starting, had to go to the back of the pack and try to scrap his way up there, but pretty much was a lap down at that point. Another restart here, Chris Brandt and Marty Hart putting on a show.
And Chris Brandt at the checkers, keeping it together for the Hart and Huntington MAV TV team. Things are looking sweet.
Chris Brandt, we spoke earlier. You said you wanted nothing more than to end up on top at this race and make that points lead a far enough battle. Do you have your truck dialed in? What a great race.
Yeah, you know, the truck's working great. I can't say enough about my crew, all the guys, you know. They've been working so hard, and, you know, they gave me a great truck, and I can't say enough about it. You know, the BF Goodrich tires were holding up great, and, you know, with the support of Hart and Huntington. And, yeah, I didn't have to mess with Deegan out there today either, so that made it a lot better.
Now, I know you did have some competition close behind you with Marty Hart. How did that track help you stay in the lead?
You know, it's a workout when you got Marty behind you, and but it's so much fun. It's almost harmonious to race with him, and you know, I know he's not going to hit me, and I'm not going to get into him, and if it does happen, you know, it was an accident, and you know, at the end of the race, you know, we're high five there, so I can't say enough about that either.
Well, Chris Brandt, another first place finish for him, and he's still holding on to the points lead here today.
Long ways to go yet as we take a look at the Geico Power Sports point standings. Loydes losing some ground here, as did Brian Deegan. To our points leader, Chris Brandt, Marty Hart in 4th, and now Adam Wick in 5th. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series as we bring you to Miller Motorsports Park. It's an incredible racing facility, one of the prettiest backdrops anywhere. Ken Stout, Cameron Steele, ready to bring you all the action here with the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series. It is the Geico Off-Road Nationals. We are officially past the halfway point in the season. Round number 8 on tap. Let's talk about the pro lights because Chris Brandt, man, he took advantage of a great round number 7.
He did. It was great for him. The real shocker was for Brian Deegan, who ended up not being able to get his truck restarted after an incident on the front straight, and Brian goes way back in the points. So Chris Brandt really loving that, and we also know Matt Loydes, who was running second in the points, had a tough one as well. So right now, Chris Brandt sitting pretty and smiling like a Cheshire cat, I would guarantee you that.
Absolutely. He's the man in the class.
One of the hottest drivers in the Pro Light division. The last 3 events, a win and 2 seconds. Round 7 here at Miller Motorsports Park. Marty Hart, a second place finish, but you had to earn it, man. We started deep in the field. You moved up in the points. How are we feeling after round 7 here?
Well, we're trying to find our niche, you know, halfway through the season. We're looking for some consistency, and we're kind of finding that along the way. We need to pick up just a little bit more speed, you know what I mean? I mean, obviously we had a fast lap yesterday, which was good, but I just couldn't push the outside. You know, Chris and I had an awesome battle, and so it was a lot of fun, but I've just got to pick up that little extra speed to be able to push the envelope, you know what I mean, to make him make some mistakes. But he ran a clean race yesterday, and it was a lot of fun, and hopefully it's a good show for the crowd.
You're going to start outside of the front row here today, so you don't have to pass a whole lot of cars to get the win. I see all the body work off the 15 truck right now. Are we making any changes?
Yeah, we made some changes earlier because we had some carburetors issues yesterday, and we went the wrong direction because in qualifying it was horrible. So hopefully we're going to get it straightened out here, and they're making a bunch of other little changes on suspension parts, and I think we'll have something for by the main event.
It's Marty Hart from a second place finish in round 7, moves up to 4th in the points.
Last 3 rounds for him, 1st, 2nd, and 2nd. He is definitely up on it. Here's a look at the Geico Power Sports point standings.
Yeah, and definitely all these guys on the top are so capable of making moves, but Chris Brandt, they're letting him get a little bit of breathing room. They can't let that happen. And let's take a look at this General Tire track map here in Utah. Big jumps in front, getting across the stripe. They'll get the green And the first turn, absolute chaos, but this is where the problems start. The unrhythm sections, bouncing into the faces of all these jumps, it's gonna hurt the truck. Here, turn number 2, you jump into a hole on the backside as you go through turn 3, a very tricky section. Here's the jump that claimed Carl Renazetter and Endo, and more rhythm sections that you can't get over. You're gonna bounce off the top. A slippery turn number 5 has caused some drama in itself. And speaking of drama, how about these fingers that stick out on the inside of this left and another on the right as they jump into what we call the moguls or the whoops, and they will be dancing through this as they make the final turn, which has been setting up a little bit of drama in itself, over a double and into the finish line.
A wild racetrack, to say the least, and it certainly claimed more than its fair share of trucks. In round number 7, we'll find out what the gang has changed here to survive in round number 8. The track is tough. The competition will be tougher. The men of Pro Light are climbing inside the trucks. It's time to go to work. Chris Brandt will suit up. Brian Deegan in the hunt. He came back from behind a year ago, and that guy's been smoking hot. Pro Light Unlimited is the class. Round number 8 is where we're at. Round number 7 was also contested here at Miller Motorsports Park. Ken Stout, Cameron Steele will also have Kelly Snyder and Rob Klepper helping us out down beside the track. Full field here. Tough racetrack for these guys.
It definitely is, and you're looking at the number 11 truck of Adam Wick. He's put together a couple stunts as of late. We'll see how he comes out here. Here's your KMC Wheels starting grid. Bringing them down to the green flag will be Jacob Person. Second row, Brian Deegan and Chris Brandt. Of course, Marty Hart up front as well. Matt Loadis and Corey Sisler coming out of row number 3.
We'll go back to row number 4 and find Adam Wick, as you were just speaking of. Stefan Papadakis getting his feet wet out here for the first year in this category. Aaron Doherty and Anthony Burdone will be in row number 5.
Row 6, Jimmy Stevenson, one of the bad boys, so to speak. He's got a lot of skill and has been proving it. Having a tough day in qualifying, but now it's time to prove it as we come to the races. It's definitely got a little bit of water on the track. It will dry out here. The wind is blowing. So it's a track that will be evolving on these drivers. We will get some blue groove as they get the green flag.
The young driver, Jacob Person, has been very fast out here inside of this truck. Definitely cutting his teeth inside of the class, but has proven to be fast. He needs to string together an entire race as we go on board with Marty Hart, courtesy of Ready Lift.
Marty has really been in the groove, and you know, Marty's such a great racer. There, right around the outside of Jacob Person. Person new to racing. He hasn't made a lot of friends, and in fact, Brian Deegan is right behind him. They have had some contact, and Brian, not a huge Jacob Person fan, but Jacob's been doing a good job of keeping his nose clean so far at this round.
Boy, and you talked about that rhythm section, how brutal it is. There is a perfect look at it. There is no doubling anything in here.
No, and in these little trucks, this is the Pro Light category. 4-cylinder trucks, you got to keep them way up on the chip or way high on the revs, and you got to drive it so hard into the corners trying to keep momentum. They'll end up getting up on the bicycle or 2 wheels, as we call it. Here is the whoop section. Let's take a look, and here's Brand, our points leader. It's deceiving from that Lucas Oil onboard. It is really violent inside the car. When I drive my buggy through there, it just like dancing wheel to wheel, and it's really hard to keep focus on that turn coming up on you.
Yeah, if you talk to any of the guys that came out of this category and are in Pro 2 or Pro 4 now, they will tell you that these trucks are much rougher and much harder on the body than they are in the big trucks. By the way, that's a quick disconnect, that strap that's on his helmet there for the head and neck restraint device. Roof coming off already on Marty Hart's truck. I don't think anything there other than just a rough track.
And it's super slippery there. Talked about Carl Reynolds that are crashing in the open, and that is the jumpy crash line. You can see if you go full commitment or full wood on the throttle, it's really dangerous. Take a look here at Sisler and Brandt doing work, and Sisler goes to the outside. Brandt makes it work in that MAV TV Hart and Huntington truck.
Getting on board with Adam Wick here, Canada All Natural Pet Foods, and Adam Wick had some great moments of brilliance in Las Vegas. Unfortunately, it followed an incident in turn number 1 on lap number 1. He actually rolled the truck over, but came back to finish up on the podium. He had a great run.
He spent a little time on his lid. And actually, as we take a look at the truck of Aaron Doherty, the number 23, he's spent some time on his lid as well this year.
Made the highlights reel more than once. All right, there's your K&N top 5. Marty Hart's looking for another win, his 2nd of the year. Utah, the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series, brought to you by Geico Power Sports. It's a Geico Power Sports. Utah Nationals, Adam Wick there, Corey Sisler, Matt Loyadis battling for 5th, and Loyadis basically said, man, we just missed it here in round number 7 big time.
Wow, you can see big air. Looks like getting a lot of rebound or a lot of spring in that number 19 truck of Corey Sisler. And that's a little bit cheap right there, holding the throttle in the corner of the truck. And that's one thing our officials are looking for. They'll black flag you if you get into the corner of someone else's truck.
And that's one of those deals where, I mean, you know, Matt is fast. Everybody realizes Matt's fast. Probably a good opportunity there to follow somebody that is fast and learn from them.
Well, I think Sisler was probably a little upset because Loyadis got down on the inside, took the line, and made the pass stick in the corner, and wanted to give him a little bit on the way out. And, you know, I say cheap, but really, when you're inside the race car, a little rub is okay to give your competitor, but you got to watch that corner touching. When you're hitting in the back corner, the officials are watching.
Great onboard shot there. And you can hear him. You talked about the RPMs before, man. He is wringing that Ford's neck. Keep it up on the pipe.
And here's an interesting battle for second. Person in the Geyser Brothers built truck coming out of Arizona. Brian Deegan sitting in 3rd right now. The Rockstar Energy Lucas Oil machine. And Deegan wants to get by Person, but they've had some contact. One time, actually, Brian couldn't finish the race because of some contact. And you can see Person and Brian hucking it huge off that jump into this unrhythm section.
Person finishing 4th here yesterday, so has a good truck again. And you talked about that truck being prepared by Geyser Brothers. It was actually built in the late 90s, believe it or not. Of course, I'm sure it's been around the shop a couple times since then.
And both drivers electing to go around those fingers, and Brian with a good run here, but can he hold the line? It's a really tough corner. It's almost a little off camera as they get into this mogul section. And Person carrying a lot of speed. I think Brian going way to the inside there chopped his speed off just a little bit.
Person completely sideways over those moguls, man. You've got to be carrying some speed to do that.
Well, the key is keeping the speed while you're doing that. If you start getting sideways in those moguls, and you can see Person's giving it all it's got. He overjumps the jump, can't get set up for turn 1. Brian makes a move down to the inside. Looks like he's going to be able to make this pass here. Person looking to the inside, maybe on 2.
Person right back there, took a look at it.
I think that Person actually checked up a little bit right there. And that's probably a product of getting spanked by a few people, you know, saying, hey, you can't run into people. You got to keep your nose clean. There has been some contact, and it looked like Person playing the sportsmanship role. But look at this run he's got on Deegan here. But he can't hold the inside of the corner. Deegan makes it work. Now these fingers come into play. Now Brian's going to go off the finger.
So a great move right there for Person. You know, he got to the outside of him, held Deegan down to the bottom, knew he was going to have to hit one of those fingers. Here's another look at it.
Take a look. Brian takes the risk, goes inside on that finger, totally unsettles the truck. Now Person stays out of the back of him. Person could have probably helped him over there if he really wanted to, but Jacob doing a great job driving the truck right now and able to get back by Deegan.
How about that? He's going to stay in front of him to the mandatory caution here. Of course, the point, well, I don't know. I say that, man. Here comes Deegan hard on the gas, but he will not get back around him before the stripe. Well, good battle between those two guys right there. Good and clean, I might add.
For now, it's clean.
Round number 8. Pro Light, stay with us. That's your K&N top 5. Marty Hart's hanging on. Hart leads the group here in the Pro Light division at Miller Motorsports Park for the Geico Power Sports Utah Nationals. We're about to get them restarted here. Stout Steel calling the action for you. Looks like Chris Brandt is working his way up to this group here. Adam Wick back in there as well. So we'll start the back half of this and find out what they've got.
Now Brandt right behind Deegan. Here comes Wick up the inside on Brandt. The yellow truck makes the move, and he's going to make that work. And Loadis is going to try to find his way through as well.
And another guy trying to pick his way up to the front is one Brian Deegan. And Rob Klepper, you've got more.
Well, it's been a pretty crazy weekend for your defending Pro Light champion, Brian Deegan. We go back to round number 7 in practice. They broke the power steering in their brand new truck. They brought the old truck out and decided to qualify that. They fixed the new truck, went back to that, had to start last and finish in 8th. They talked to Danny Everett's head wrench on the 38. They said they totally changed this race truck today. Shocks, air pressure, etc., etc., etc. That's a quote from Danny Everett's, guys. And right now, Deegan looked pretty good as he just took over 2nd.
Well, and right there, he went around the outside. Person used the finger that time. It will cost him the position, but I don't see anybody that has anything for Hart as of yet.
So far, no, but Deegan on a mad scramble here as they go through the whoop section. Person actually looked pretty clean on that finger. We'll see if he can make that work for him later. Brian way up on the chip. You can hear him really revving that truck up, keeping those R's. And Jimmy Stevenson from the back of the pack, that Yokohama-sponsored truck.
He started dead last and now has worked his way up into the top 5. The one guy that I don't see right now is Chris Brandt.
Yeah, he was right up here in the mix, and now I don't see him in these top trucks. Oh, and Papadakis off on the outside of turn 1, but getting it back together.
Stefan out here putting together a new program, MagnaFlow on the side of the truck, and of course did a great job, very successful in import drag racing, set a number of records along the way, also some drifting, but now is looking for another part of the program to his race team, which is off-road racing. Speaking of Chris Brandt, there he is, and sounds like he's struggling.
And he's getting passed now by Papadakis.
Right front flat.
So he's going to have to try to get into that hot pit, change that tire, and continue on. Points, so important. We talked about it being the points leader. Marty Hart's been on a tear on this Stronghold Motorsports Readiness sponsored machine, but Deegan charging. Oh, Loades, the number 20 Mastercraft truck. He's parked in the top unrhythm section just before turn number 5, and he's going to throw the door off at you.
This will be a tough round 7 and 8 for Lloyd. He's second in the points, finished 6th in round 7. As it stands right now, looks like he'll finish about 10th or so if he can't get back out here.
Well, Deegan and Hart both licking their chops on this, with Brandt having problems, Loades going off. So these two drivers look to gain quite a bit. Not only that, they're in podium position where they're going to be bringing home some trophies and accolades if they can keep it together like this. Person a distant 3rd right now, but still a factor. But Deegan has been charging. Oh, look at this. Charging the whoops, and Marty Hart with a little problem. There's a little sneaky way to do those whoops. You can get up on the side and get on your right tires where there's no bumps. And taking a look here at the Can-Am leaderboard, Chris Brandt pulling into the pits to fix a flat. We'll find out if he get back in the mix when we come back.
Miller Motorsports Park. This is the Pro Light Division. Brian Deegan making a bid for the lead here at the Geico Power Sports Utah Nationals. He's been hanging around the back bumper of Marty Hart, but now has closed the gap.
Now Brian's been using this last turn a little differently. Watch him. He's going to apex way from the outside, shoot way down to the bottom and come out, and he's going to try to steal the line from Hart.
Beautiful job right there. Is he going to have enough momentum?
Contact with both trucks, and it looks like Brian's going to be the worst of that. So great effort by Brian, but unfortunately as they get the white flag, he took the risk, put the nose in there, but because of the contact, both trucks got a little squirrely. You see Brian get squirrely back off to the other side. Marty's able to hold a little more momentum and gets the run down the front. I think that's pretty much going to cook Deegan. He's not going to be able to get another run back up there to challenge Hart unless Hart makes a mistake.
Too bad for Deegan, too. I mean, you can see definitely pulled back to the inside to get off of Marty. I don't think he realized Marty had gone so wide. Probably could have just held his line and been okay, but coulda, woulda, shoulda. It is tough when you're out there.
Marty with a good run, and Deegan really stomping through that section. As they go into turn 5, it's been slippery up here. Deegan looking left, going around those fingers. Oh, look, breaking loose just a little bit there. At this point, I think Deegan's got to reel it in and just take the second place. One turn to go. Don't want to crash the truck. Points are important. He's doing a great job, though, as Hart rounds that last turn.
Marty Hart coming around here for his second win of the 2010 season. Great job for him. I'll tell you, the last 4 rounds, he has been brutal, including 2 wins and 2 second-place finishes. Brian Deegan, a great comeback after finishing 8th, 1 round to go. Puts it back up on the podium and finishes 2nd.
We'll have to find out where Brandt comes across, and a great shout out to Jacob Person doing an excellent job, and he did some great racing in this race. So it looks like he's really focused on driving it clean, and I think overall it really paid off for him. Taking a look at our Rockstar Energy Drink results. Of course, Marty Hart, Deegan, and Person are your podium, but Adam Wick bringing the heat, and a shout out to Anthony Verdone with the top 5.
Congratulations to Jacob Person, his first career podium in the category. Job well done. You know, looked like he pulled back just a little bit, and he was still very, very fast, stayed out of trouble. So congrats. It looks like the kid's getting it all gathered up. Here's your E3 Spark Plugs race recap. Here we go. Right off the bat, Person leads them down to turn number 1, but Marty Hart showed speed right away.
Deegan and Person, which hasn't been a good combination really for either driver, are able to keep it clean and race forward. We lost Loades second in the points. We lost Brandt to a flat tire, but he would keep going, and then contact amongst the leaders as they went to the white flag.
Brian Deegan nearly pulled off the move, but was not to be. Marty Hart picks up his second win of the season.
Marty, you told me you would see me up here on this podium. You told me your plan was to get out front from the beginning and keep these body panels intact. They look pretty good up here.
Actually, it's pretty thrashed. I swapped so many times in those whoops back there on the restarts. It was ridiculous, but just didn't seem like the truck had what it wanted to go through. I went through there fast yesterday. I couldn't do anything with them today, but you know, we fought through it, and it got kind of exciting right there at the end with Brian because I didn't know he was there. The radio wasn't working, and I couldn't see him. And he came. I thought Pearson was there, and last thing I think, I pulled out on about 20 truck lengths, and then all of a sudden there's Brian on the inside, you know, and I'm like, whoa, you know. So I had to step it back up again, you know, but it's all good. We had a good time, and you know, it's making this championship run interesting now because Stronghold, all the guys there that work on my truck have made it. We stepped up, got the truck consistent, which is what you have to do. You have to be up here on this podium 1, 2, or 3 every weekend. So, you know, thank God for all those guys and for the help that they do for us. Lamb Energy, Ready Lift Suspension, Maxxis, Lucas Oil, all those guys that help us get to the racetrack. We thank y'all very much.
Well, congratulations to the number 15 of Marty Hart.
And a solid job as we take a look at the Geico Power Sports point standings. Bit of a shocker for Loades. Brandt, of course, still hanging on by getting the finish. And got to give a shout out. Both Deegan and Hart running those Maxxis tires on the top of the podium, doing a great job.
Brian Deegan, you had a battle going on out there with everyone. Almost made the pass out there on Marty on those last couple of laps, but it was a great race overall.
Yeah, it was a good race. It was a battle. You know, this is my new truck here, and we're slowly progressing, and today I think it was a huge accomplishment for the team. They worked so hard on this truck and all day and night, and it came together. Actually had the speed. Still little things I want to adjust with this truck. I felt like I had Marty in that last turn. I said, you know what, I'm going for it. He stepped out, I stuffed him, and then I exited and spun a little bit, and he got me back. But in the end, it was a good race, and he's always been fast, so it's just good to be battling with him, so I'm pretty pumped.
Well, Brian Deegan back up on the podium and back up there in the points race.
The points are far from over. Well, we're going to shift gears.